How many times have you heard about developing a vision for your church? Some people bristle at the idea of even the concept of vision that is human-centered and not God-centered. Other people like the idea of vision, but they say, I really don't know how to go about that. Some people are pretty good at writing a vision statement, but when it's all said and done, they cannot get their church to act on the vision statement. There's been a lot of questions that have come our way about vision statements, and I'm a bit hesitant to call this what I call this. I call this a 10-step checklist for developing a vision statement for your church. Now, that's inherent with all potential problems just within the title. That means that it could sound like a plug and play. It means like that it could sound like something that churches could just replicate from place to place and everything works just fine. I don't want to communicate that to you. I want to be a resource for you to help you in the area of developing a vision statement. So let me start off this introduction by simply saying welcome. Welcome to developing a vision statement. We'll be going through 10 short steps. There'll be this introduction, the 10 steps, and a conclusion. And really what I hope that you do is I hope that you gather your staff around or your particular leaders and you go through this and you begin to say, maybe we can do it this way. Maybe we can push forward. Let's talk for just a moment about the 65% factor. 65% of churches are declining. A few of those are plateaued, but there's really no such thing as a plateaued church. You're either declining or you're either growing. So 2 out of 3 churches are really declining. And what we need to be doing is building the house of God. We need to be about the process of moving our churches forward with a great commission and great commandment mindset. But it's hard to build a house without a blueprint. Now I understand that the Bible is ultimately our blueprint. But as you go through, let's just say the 27 books of the New Testament from Matthew to Revelation, you're looking at that and you see all kind of differences, particularly in the churches, like the church at Corinth is definitely different from the church at Rome, is definitely different from the churches at Galatia, is different from the churches at Philippi and Ephesus, and so on. So the churches themselves are different. And so we try to look to the Bible and we see a lot of truth. And it's all truth. We see doctrinal realities. We see practical application. But then we ask the question, how does that apply to our church? And what I'm trying to do is to give you a sketch or a blueprint in order for you to be able to develop a vision statement for your church. Now hear me very well on this. This exercise is not plug and play. It is not something that this church, this Methodist church over here can do, and this Presbyterian church over here can do, and this non-denominational church can do, and this Baptist church can do, just because you've got this outline. It's not even within denominations or non-denominations something that you can do. It is not a plug and play. This is not template behavior. It's a guideline. And what does a guideline mean? It means it guides you. It does not mandate. It is not specific down to the core. It is not granular. It is a guideline where you can fill in contextual blanks. It is a guideline where you can apply it to the doctrinal realities of your church. It is a guideline. Please don't take this as some type of plug and play or some type of template that you don't need to do any work. You just hit this button and Rainer has produced for you this 10-step checklist and all of a sudden you have a vision statement. You are going to have to put a lot of work into this. This is something that you will need to be focusing your time and attention prayerfully upon. This is not just a simple plug and play approach. Recommendations, I mentioned this at the beginning. Work with others in this process. I love collaboration. I love the wisdom of crowds. I love the fact that everybody has a different angle, a giftedness. They're equipped in different ways. And as you begin to develop this vision statement, as you go through this, it may be helpful to have key leaders from your staff or lay leaders, deacons, elders, or teachers, whatever the case may be. Work with others in this process and see what they see when they begin to see the outline begin to form in front of them. And that just goes back to the point that this is a guideline and not a plug and play. If it was a plug and play, you wouldn't need the wisdom of others. You wouldn't need the perspective of many voices. But because it is a guideline, it is very helpful as you go through this to ask questions. What does this mean to you? How do you think this applies to our church? What do you think about it in our context? So, first recommendation is work with others in the process. Here's another recommendation. Be quickly deliberate. Now, that sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Deliberate means we are taking our time to make sure we get it right. But obviously, by putting the adverb quickly in front of it, we're saying get her done. Don't let this go too slowly because you can lose momentum. My recommendation for you is you to really try to go fast forward through these videos and through this training and through the 12 sessions that we have, the introduction, beginning, and the 10 steps, and then the conclusion. My recommendation is you move pretty rapidly through this because you can get lost in the minutia. You can start getting mixed up with all the weeds of the process and you fail to see the big picture. And so the recommendation I have is to be quickly deliberate. Quickly, here's essentially what we're saying here. Vision statements build upon momentum. Vision statements give a preferred future for a direction for a church. Vision statements allow you to see what God may be doing today for tomorrow. And that is a momentum that you don't want to slow down. That is a momentum that you want to capture. So be moving quickly. But the other part of this is deliberate. Now, deliberate means you want to get buy-in and input. And they may not be one and the same. Input may be someone who gives an opinion, buy-in, maybe someone else who's embracing all what the others have said. But you want this to, a vision statement is absolutely of no value until you get others, almost everybody else within the congregation, to buy into it. So let me take you down the path that we will be going. First of all, as we go into the next session, we'll be understanding the why behind a vision statement. And then from that point forward, I'll be introducing you to all of the others. But this 10-step checklist can be paradigmatic for your church. It can be something to take your church to the next level, because I'm going to give you just a little bit of preview of some of the things that you will hear. As you begin to move down this checklist, you will begin to get an idea not only about what the vision is, but how you can actually implement the vision. There are many ways that you can do vision statements. I will be talking about a vision statement that produces immediate action. So hear me well. I'm going to be taking you down one path. It's not the only path to take toward a vision statement, but it is the path that I think can move your church to greater action. So when we are concluded with this checklist for developing a vision statement for your church, it is my desire that you not only know how to construct a vision statement, how to make the parts fit together in order for the vision statement to move your church forward. It is my prayer that you will also have an action plan for how you will implement the vision statement. So this is not just merely about a statement. This is about the action that comes as a consequence of the statement. This is not merely about a vision statement. This is about becoming a greater Great Commission church. So, are you ready? You got your team members all beside you? You ready to move forward on this 10-step checklist that I hope is really not a checklist, but is something that will guide your church forward? If you're ready, take a quick break and we'll be going to the first of the checklist, understand the why behind a vision statement. We'll see you then.